welcome to this brand new episode of NEWSMAKERS, the show where we bring to you spectacular personalities and their success stories from various walks of life. Because at NEWSMAKERS, we really aspire to inspire you. My dear lovely audience, I'm your host Simran, and today is going to be another, yes, a very important episode. An episode to sit and listen and actually relish upon. Yes, my dear friends, I have with me a beautiful personality. She does not only look beautiful, she is a media person. She is a radio jockey. She's been a content writer for a very renowned newspaper. And you know what? She's now a clairvoyant and she's also a Cartomencer psychic medium. Oh my God, she's been doing so much. Now I'm really excited to hear her story from her itself. Please allow me to welcome a very renowned Prasiddhi Khare Mishra on the sets of NEWSMAKERS. A very warm welcome to you.
Hello Simranji, how are you?
I'm really excited because I'm meeting another anchor.
Yes.
And it's going to be exciting because an anchor meeting an anchor, and let's see what happens now. So,
Yes.
Prasiddhi, what a beautiful name you have, Prasiddhi. You're already very renowned.
Born to be famous.
Yes. So, you started with media.
Yes.
You know, you've been making people hear, like you were on radio,
Broadcast, yes.
you were broadcasting, and then now you have become a medium. You're literally making people know their past and so much that you're doing. My knowledge is very bleak. I would like to know your journey, how you started and how have you reached to this level?
Okay. Well, the dream was always to be a media person because I grew up in the studios of All India Radio.
Wow.
So I often joke with my radio friends who now pull my leg, ki, what are you doing, you know? So from Akashvani to Bhavishwani, I said I'm stealing that line. I'm going to use that. And from media to mediumship, as we would say. Basically, you know, the word media means that it's a channel. Like,
Correct.
yeah. So
Correct.
even a medium, who's even a psychic medium, is a
channel.
channel,
Wow.
right? But so I think it was meant to be. You don't choose this path. You don't, as a child, tell your parents कि पापा मुझे बड़े होके भविष्यवाणी करनी है और fortune teller बनना है. You don't know. This is something that chooses you. Of course, we all are psychic. I believe that. We all have our intuition. We all have that gut.
True.
We all have that inner voice. Our grandmothers had that for the whole family.
True.
You know, everybody would intuit.
Yes.
We have those deep-seated feelings that, and our feelings are our emotional guidance system.
True.
Feelings are not something that is, it's just like an emotional flux. It's what guides you. And you know, you always know how you feel about something. We always say, now what do you think about it? What do you feel about it? And half the time my gut feeling is, and a lot of us just throw that around because we all have it. So being a psychic, being a medium is not something rare. I think it's a muscle that we all have, but we just don't flex it enough. We don't work on it enough. I often joke with my friends that we all have six-pack abs. We just need to discover them and, you know, melt those fats and go to the gym. Otherwise, those six-packs are sitting there inside you, right?
Yes, exactly.
So the psychic powers are within you. And there are multiple faculties of clairvoyance. So clear vision is clairvoyance, and clear hearing is clairaudience, and then clear feeling is clairsentience, and clear knowing. You know, some people just know. I don't know. Don't ask me. I know. That's how they'll talk, and that is claircognizance. And so these are all the clairs, you know, and clair means clear. So it's a clear message that's coming to you from sensory inputs that your brain is also processing, from this from everything else that you perceive around you, but it's all in thin air, as we say, and we are not able to anchor that thing for us. Now when we use a system to get the messages from spirit, and the spirit could be the universe, God, our guides, we can come up with all nomenclatures, but our own divine guidance system, you know, whoever you believe in, it could be any deity you believe in, it could be ancestors that people connect with, it could be spirit guides, it could be those on the other side now. To get their messages, you can of course get into automatic writing. That's one methodology that was prescribed, and that's very useful. Some people are naturally very clairvoyant. They just start talking and they get into a zone as soon as they sit with someone. And people like me who are a little bit more left brained, who have that logical brain constantly interfering with the messages that are coming, how do you say that, how do you say that, a lot of people say that. So but when we pick up a system of reading, now then astrology is everybody's first choice when they want to predict, when they want to look forward or before what has happened in all your lives. Another thing is tarot, and tarot found me 20 years ago, actually 30 years ago, but I started reading professionally in 2008.
Okay.
But that was one system I picked up. And the tarot deck that I had picked up the first time in my life was a Marseille deck, which is a very rare system. It's a 500-year-old system. In the town of Marseille in France, they used to print those card decks with those hand blocks. Like you have those hand block print saris.
Right.
So and in those days, they didn't have this such evolved press. They had 3 colors, yellow, blue and green. And they used to just use those cards and print them. So the Visconti family made the first tarocchi, or a tarocco, as they would say, tarocchi deck. And that was just a gameplay. So when I do cartomancy, we cannot forget that cartomancy originates with cards. And the most popular cards were the playing cards, the good old playing cards, that tash that we have in our house. It's the book of life. It's a code, and it's not just for gameplay. You could have 4 seasons, you could have 52 weeks, you could have 365 days, everything in that calendar, that is those 52 cards.
Okay.
And then there were occultists in the West who, the Golden Dawn, the Society of Golden Dawn, and the Freemasons, and all these people who were into spirituality of their own style at that time. Nothing to do with our Indian mythology and our system and our Vedas. This is all happening in the West. And these card systems, nobody knows where they came from. So nobody knows where tarot comes from. Nobody exactly still knows where these playing cards originated. But every culture, even in China, even in the Arabic countries, there were Mamluk cards, and there were cards in China. So people were playing cards all the time. And then they started realizing that for divination, or to get answers from the divine, anything can be used. People use sticks, bones, rune stones, necromancy. There's Ifa divination in Africa, where they use flour and the patterns of the flower, how it falls. So there are multiple systems, and cut open animals and read their inner parts. I mean, there have been all kinds of systems in the world to divine the future. I think the most beautiful, accurate and simple system has been cartomancy. And every country has their own system of cartomancy. So you have a French cartomancy, you have Russian cartomancy, you have Brazilian cartomancy. There is an Italian cartomancy system called La Vera Sibilla, which I read. It's a system of 52 cards. Then there were Itea cards, which was designed by, it was a system designed by John Baptist Eliot. He designed another tarot deck, by the way. So the most common tarot deck that people read today is not the only tarot system, to be honest. That's the Rider-Waite-Smith that most people read. But there was a Sola Busca deck before that, there was a Visconti tarot deck and a Marseille deck. And so there's a lot of variety, and there's a Thoth deck for all the Thoth readers. I am aware of multiple cartomancy systems. There's a way to read all of them. There are meanings lists, like how you, and my most favorite system, which I read on a daily basis for my clients, my paying clients who want specific answers to very specific questions, that's Le Petit Lenormand. It sounds French. It's a small Lenormand deck. Petit means chota, so small Lenormand deck, 36 cards. That's what the French called a piquet deck, Piquet. So a piquet deck was a cut deck, like you have a cutting chai. So the whole deck is 52 cards, but a cut deck is 36 cards. This is a system which encompasses the tea leaf reading, symbology, the coffee ground reading, symbology, and all kinds of symbolism. And the cards look deceptively simple. It's not tarot. It's a completely different system of 36 cards. We read all the cards together at the same time. So there's a very specific way of reading it. There's a Bavarian German method of reading it, because it sounds very French, but it's actually a German system of reading cards. So I actually am a researcher of systems of divination. I did a course with the Harvard University on this, and I presented a paper on this as well. So I am still that journo who wants to go deeper into something, investigate and research. So my life started as a media person. I started before the camera as an anchor. I started as a child anchor on Doordarshan, to be honest. So it started from that. It was always something that I loved doing. I would always keep doing it. I loved connecting with people. Here's the key to that, actually. Loved connecting with people, loved talking to people. Today also I connect with people. Earlier it was on a macro level. Now it's on a micro mini level. It's very intimate. It's very personal. It's very confidential, what I do for people. So I always had this gift. I could see a lot of things that would be happening in somebody's life, but there was no way to corroborate and confirm. Now, how do you confirm the messages that you're getting? So, but if you have a system to read, then you can see like a 3D, like a 3D vision of cards in front of you. And then there's a system of reading it. There's a method of reading it. And this is the authentic method that I studied under German teachers, which they taught me. And
that's Cartomancy.
The Cartomancy and Lenormand cards and Sibilla cards and all these other different systems that I read, including tarot. And these are called tableau style methods. So I won't remove one card and talk about somebody's life. It's always going to be either a basic 9 card read all the way to a 36 or a 52 card. And if it's a tarot deck, you could just use the major arcanum, which is the main first 22 cards of the tarot deck. And if you remove the major arcanum of the tarot deck, what you're left with is the minor arcanum. And what is a minor arcanum? It's the playing card deck. You got the jacks, the kings, queens. A page was just added later on. You got 1 to 10, all the suits, the same spades, diamonds, clubs, and their corresponding meanings in a tarot deck. So hearts are becoming cups.
Okay.
And diamonds become coins. So the Cartomancy is like a mirror image of the minor arcanum of the tarot deck.
All right. There's so much that you've
There's
done.
just so much to it, and there's so much to learn, and I still feel, Simran, that I'm not done learning.
Really? Now, hearing you from sometime from now, you've been just talking about the varied systems here, and of course my knowledge is very bleak here, so I had to actually sit back and listen what all you're talking about. But then you coming in from a media line, a lot of research work that you've done, and you've also been very well versed with this particular healing. This Cartomancy is one of the ways you're healing people. Now here, you were just saying this tarot thing is different. So what is the difference between tarot reading and Cartomancy?
You can say that this is a very interesting question, and often my teacher has asked this question because she teaches a lot of systems. So why do I need all these different methods of gaining messages from the divine, right? Divination.
Yes.
Why do we need all these systems of divination? Why can't we just use one simple deck and be done with it?
Yeah.
See, every system of Cartomancy is a different language. You can say, like, why do we have so many languages in the world? Why can't we all just talk in English? But we don't, right? We have a mother tongue. We have all kinds of regional languages in our country itself. So they all have their beauty. They all have their vocabulary. They all have a voice of their own. So if I'm reading for somebody's feelings or to get guidance for them, I would pick up a tarot deck, a Rider-Waite-Smith deck. If I'm looking to nail down the nitty-gritties of daily life, the daily grind, your profession, your relationship, but down to earth reading. I don't want spiritual information, Prasiddhi. I want to know exactly what's going to happen when I go to office tomorrow and what will happen in that meeting. People can be that specific. Or how is this relationship going to happen? How is it going to go from January to December this year? I want to know a story. Give me a narrative. How is this relationship going to proceed? People come with extremely challenging questions. They don't want to hear everything would be nice, sab theek hai. Sab theek hai, it doesn't satisfy anyone. They want the details, you know, God is in the details. And so the Lenormand deck gives us those daily grind, nitty gritty, everyday information, because the cards, the system has that vocabulary.
Okay. And it's authentic.
It's very beautiful. It's very beautiful, and it's got two main characters, the man, woman, and it's got additional character cards for friends, for other people in your life, cards specifically for money, finances, all kinds of different businesses. There are cards that show recognition, stability and success. And then there are combinations of cards that we read that show us, if you ask me about a relationship or marriage, I need to look at not just one card. I want to look at 5-6 different cards that should come and sit together, because if it's a successful relationship, it will have love in it, it'll have commitment, it'll have stability, it'll have happiness, so what's the ideal scenario? So you get to paint a picture, and you need all colors and all shades to paint a picture. So if there's anybody who reads multiple systems, you can imagine they have lots of brushes and lots of colors to paint that picture. It's not one shade or one color or just one language. I have a lot of tools in my toolkit. I have a lot of spanners, you know, all kinds. Har screw ko fix karne ke liye I have a particular screwdriver. So it's like, why does anybody need an entire knife set if he's cooking, a chef? It's like he's got a whole kit. So he's got something to dice, something to chop, something to, you know, peel. So same way, I've got tools that answer specifics for me. I've got tools that answer emotions for me. I've got card systems that give me very chatty, gossipy information also, like a Sibilla deck. So it's like talking to different people to get answers for your questions. Suppose you go to your parent and ask them about what happened in your day. They'll give you a very nice, calm, good answer. Oh, it was a nice, peaceful day I had. But then there were some difficulties, but life can get difficult. Very grandma style of talking. That's your Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck. If you ask the Lenormand card, it's like your best friend just answered a question. You know, do you realize what happened with me? You know, I went to office, and then the chatty, and you'll get a lot of juice.
So it comes.
Yeah, and then you ask the Sibilla deck or Gypsy cards, and you will get information like, you know, the gossip, the office gossip, or that, you know, people sit together and gossip about it. They'll give you extra information. I didn't ask you so much, but you'll tell me what Mrs. Sharma and Mrs. Verma was doing. So it'll give you a lot of chatty information. So and imagine a reader who can read all the systems. So you will get a wise voice for guidance. Then you will have a very gossipy voice that gives you all the nitty-gritties and hidden information that somebody is not giving you.
Okay.
And then you have a very direct and straightforward voice of the playing cards or Lenormand cards that answer the question to the T, accurately, precisely, correctly. It's like a boss who gives you clear instructions that this is what I want done, by this time I want it done, and this is how it should be done. And this is the flow chart of the work, and this is how it's going to be. So you get characters, you get voices, you get shades from different systems. So that's the fun of reading all these systems, because they answer and they all have their strengths. What a tarot can answer for me, even a Lenormand can answer for me, but both of them will give me different sets of information.
All right.
The Lenormand will give me the nitty-gritty daily thing.
All the details.
Yes. Basic stuff. Like once I was reading for my self on my birthday, and we used to do these practice, you know, practice reads years ago. And I saw that you're going to get a gift of a ring. Okay.
And you didn't know who is going to be giving it.
It was very specific actually. And I said, nobody's bringing a ring for me. You won't believe it. My mother had bought a gemstone for me as a gift. And she got it engraved in a ring, and it got delivered on my birthday.
Oh wow.
So it's a little creepy, right? You're like, oh my God, I wasn't expecting. Now a tarot deck cannot tell you that you're going to get a ring on your birthday. The tarot deck doesn't have a card that shows a ring, but there's a ring card in the Lenormand system. So because, see, you need the language to talk, right? If So a tarot deck, what would a tarot deck show me? It would show me that it'll be a happy day, it would be filled with celebrations. Maybe a 3 of cups would come, or a 4 of wands would come and say there's celebration, there's joy happening.
And here it becomes very specific.
And it's not wrong, it's also right. But the Lenormand deck told me, you woman, you're going to get a ring on your birthday, and it's that specific.
Wow.
And it comes.
So then when did you like realize that you have that thing in you that, you know, you are a clairvoyant?
Yes.
So like from when? Like from the childhood you had those, you know,
Hunches?
intuitions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, very strongly. And I would often tell people, I don't see this happening in your life. I don't see that happening in your life. If a friend would come and share something with me, I would just sit and say, no, I don't think it's happening. And I remember very clearly that my mum and her friends were working on a land issue.
Okay.
And they had this one specific person in their office. They had gotten together and purchased a large land parcel to build homes for all the employees of their organization. And they were not getting their hands on that land. And there was this one gentleman who used to walk in my house every evening with them while they would have a meeting together and, you know, and plan what to do, and they had to fight a case and all that. It was a serious issue going on. I was probably 10 years old. And then when this person walks into the house, I look at him and I tell my mother, I said, don't trust this one, that this uncle, okay, he's going to dupe you guys. He's going to sell the pieces of land under some disguise and all, and he's going to run away with the money.
You said that.
I said that to her, and she said, what nonsense, you go, please do your homework, you know. I was like, what nonsense, you know. He's one of our,
too young.
yeah, he's an officer, and you, what do you mean? He's a gazetted officer, what do you mean? And then they discovered that he did that after 6 months.
Oh.
And they had to remove him from the committee, and they had to, you know, talk to those people who bought the land that, dude, it's not for sale, you know, it was a
Then
fake
she must have thought that
scammer.
she should have believed you.
Yeah, fake scammer. So you read on people. I mean, how I read, I don't need birth details when I read. So one photograph is enough. Your permission is enough. If you tell me, Prasiddhi, I want to know this about my life, all I need is, okay, Simranji, are you okay with it if I look into your life? You say, yeah, sure, please do. And even if you're busy and you don't have time to sit on a video call, I'll just say, send me a picture of you. It helps me focus. My mind should be clear when I'm shuffling the cards. I don't want to think of my life. I want to think of you. So just to keep the focus, laser focus, I need a picture or the person with me or the person on a video. That's all I need.
All right.
And then I would shuffle, and I know the systems where I can draw the cards for past, for present, for future.
Okay.
Able to see all that.
So I would like to know, like, now that you have such strong intuitive powers, like, I think sometimes you also do not require those cards to be reading a person.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Because, you know, this is like, I went to my teacher and I said, can you teach me mediumship? Because those were the days. And it's a journey, right? And it's never ending learning journey. I can never say in my life that I've learned everything and I know everything. Because there's so much mystery to the universe. And I used to look at other mediums, how they used to connect with departed loved ones. And I said, you know what, can you teach me? And she pulled a few cards for me and she said, there's nothing that I need to teach you. You just don't trust yourself. I said, yeah, that is an issue. I do second guess. And, you know, come on, we're all going to second guess. It's not so easy. Who am I to tell somebody about their life? I mean, I was suffering from this problem for a very long time, that who am I to tell you about your life? I mean, really.
I wonder, you too have those trust issues, because most of us, we do not believe in ourselves.
No, we don't. And it's very easy to put a question mark at psychic phenomena, psychic abilities, this kind of work. A lot of people, and there are so many fake people in the business, that a real person goes through the grind, and it's very difficult for a real person to prove that they do have this you know, faculty within them. And I was a very confident person all my life, but when you come to this thing, it leaves you with questions. So that journalist inside me, you know, they say, they once a journalist, always a journalist. The only thing any journalist would do is research. They'll go back and read. They'll go back and study. And I said, there are skeptics out there. I cannot silence them. I cannot make them believe me. But I can make myself believe me. And if I have to make myself believe me, I have to study more. I have to learn better ways of divination, more precise systems of divination. I need more tools in my toolkit. so that I always look for confirmation at least 3-4 times of the same message. So I'm sitting with you, it's flowing from me.
Wow.
I have no idea where it's coming from. I'm not believing it. So I'll pull out my tarot cards, I'll read those, and I'll put a Lenormand Grand Tableau of 36 card, I'll read that. I'll pick up another deck of Sibilla and put it on top and read that, and you get the same message again and again and again. You should, right?
Yes.
If it's your life, I'm talking about your future, it cannot change with the system that I'm reading.
Exactly.
So if you go to an astrologer, they should tell you the same time when you will get married. I should also tell you the same time when you will get married. You go to a third person, you should get the same time because it's your life. If you're going to get a raise at your job, if it's coming next February, it should match with every other parameter and every other system of reading. Since cards are my first love and I've always been drawn to them, I pick up these systems only to confirm, just to remove my doubts. I don't need them. I think I don't need them. My teacher says you don't need them, but I think I need them.
It's so good to hear that, because you know, since childhood you had those intuitions, and now that even you wanted somebody to come and tell you that yes, you have that. Now being into this industry, if you know, you're healing people, you're also a spiritual healer, if I'm not wrong. That's how you address yourself. Now, what is the difference between being spiritual healer, clairvoyant, and cartomancer? Now, these three different sciences.
These are just, cartomancy is a system of getting answers.
Okay.
It's a system of divination.
And how about spiritual?
Then the spiritual healing part comes alongside. Now I don't practice that professionally for people, but I do heal, and only for very rare clients.
All right.
When I see that sending them that healing, they are receptive for it. They need it. It's for the greater good of everyone else. And it's going to benefit more than one person. And it is part of their journey in their life when I do the reading. And if I'm shown those kind of things, that they would benefit from healing, that they would benefit from getting additional cushion. It's a cushion, it's a support system.
True.
When you energetically heal something, and you send energy through third eye or through your hands, and I am a Shambhavi healer and I do that, but it's limited to very few people where it's really required, where it's, as I said, all these parameters should be checked, and it is in their path to take benefit from this. And when my guides allow me. So this is not something that I would sell, but this would automatically flow out of me for a certain person who has come to me for a session, and when I see that they would highly benefit from that, I do it for them. And in fact, there was this very well-known politician who had come a month back and was contesting elections, a young fellow, very honest, and you don't get those kind of people. We all know that, right? And so I could see that there were huge hurdles in the paths of him winning the election, and he just won it in November. So very young chap, but from a very honest and some good people who stand up and who make the effort to do something good for others.
Right.
And I can see that, right, that he's not a crook. My cards show me if somebody is a crook. So I knew that this guy deserves to win. There are certain obstacles in his way. I'm not going to sell him a remedy, as you know. I don't like to do that. I don't want to give homework to my clients. But I thought I should sit and pray for him, for his success.
Wow.
And this was something I do quietly, and I did quietly for him. I said, you know what, I'm doing something for you. Just sit quietly. I really hope to God. The cards show me negative answers today, but my heart says that you need to get this. This needs to happen in your life. Now, sometimes even when the cards are negative, then I ask another question. How can we turn this around for them? Is there a way that
Then that's
we
your
can...
belief system. That's your belief system, that it will change.
It won't be changed, but it's... I know there's a lot of success in his future. And I know that this is his starting point in life, but then everything is stacked against him.
Okay.
And there are very high chances of losing. And this is not a remedy. This is also not something I'm selling, because I know those things don't work. It needs to come from a healer. It needs to come from somebody who's connected. If I feel like giving somebody that kind of energy and send them that energy, and it's ultimately at the end of the day prayer that's flowing from me.
That works.
And my heart knows that, and you know, you get that little, again, a tick, that
Yes.
this needs to be done.
Yeah.
and he's going to benefit a whole lot of people out there when he gets there. So when I got a go ahead, sent a lot of healing, and this guy won it and he got it, and I'm like so happy that I believe prayers work, I believe healings work, I believe everything works, but it should be done for the right people in the right way.
Correct.
Through a right channel, and it's not something I would ever go to town talking about or selling. But can I do that for people? I can do that for people. 20 years of spiritual sadhana, I can sometimes change a few things and shift a few things for them. It's a little bit of magic that God allows me to do.
Wow.
Also not something that I do. Again, a channel, a healing channel is somebody who would let the healing flow. So I trust, and I was a clinical hypnotherapist, so I used to release spirit attachments as well. I had learned healing modalities and methods, a different way of therapeutic healing for people. So a lot of my clients say, why have you stopped doing hypnotherapy for people? But I said, no, this has taken over now, you know, divination has taken over. I cannot do everything. I have learnt everything. As I said, I was the biggest skeptic under the sun. And to remove that skepticism, I said, Prasiddhi, before you reject something, please learn about it. And I started learning, and I realized there's more to it, there's more to it, there's more to it, and there's no ending. I don't believe in selling cheap remedies to people. That's not how I make my money. But when my heart says, yes, you should do something for this person and send a prayer and a healing, it works beautifully. So that purity needs to be maintained.
Yes, exactly.
You know,
and
it's
of
not
course
about,
it's about the intent also.
yeah,
If you have a great intent for somebody, I'm sure it works wonders.
absolutely. When
Yes,
people are unwell, they get in touch for readings, and then they say, do you see this thing improving for my mom? Do you see this thing? When I don't see it, I tell them that, you know what, let's not talk about this. I think we have limited time with her, so you need to take care of her. But then there's always a prayer that you can send for somebody. Prayers do work. I am very confused about remedies if they do.
I'm so sure prayers do wonders for anybody for
Yes.
that matter. And we all have those intuitive powers in us, but we don't trust ourselves. Now, lastly, it's been such a great thing to be hearing from you. You got such amazing knowledge of the entire thing. And I'm so sure that you must be healing n number of people. I wish I get a chance to sit with you and get to know more of Meena. Lastly, before we end here, I would like to know this one mantra for everyone who's watching us. And how can they be happy forever? Coming in from a person like you.
Nobody can be happy forever. In a day, I cry once at least.
Really?
Oh yeah, because I collect a lot of emotions and
Yes,
feelings, either
of
for
course.
myself or for others. And things move you. And you're not supposed to be madly happy all the time. That's delirium. That's a mental disorder.
Yes.
A person is supposed to go through all feelings.
All the emotions.
Supposed to have all tastes on your plate. I think enjoy what's being served.
Yes.
The cards that are dealt, the hand that is dealt to you. Play your cards well. And if you want to know what is in the hand of fate, you come to somebody like me, you ask.
Yeah.
We look at the bumps on the road. It's like you should know. It's a GPS. You know where you should be going,
Correct.
what you should be avoiding. Take guidance from the one above and let life happen. Don't be scared of living that life.
Wow.
You cannot, you cannot dodge that. You cannot dodge your life. There are those great moments of grace that happen for all of us. Sometimes magic happens. Sometimes healings happen. I believe it's there because of blessings of people, prayers of our parents, and sometimes just sheer good luck. And there are some great cards. Just yesterday I was reading for a client and I said, you know what, hard work to theek hai. You're bloody lucky this year. So just play your game and don't worry about it, because luck is on your side. So it's all about destiny.
All right, just one more question that just now hit my mind is, now a very quick thing about this year, like you just now said, that is there any specific thing which you would like to say for people, like you've been doing tarot or, any specific number, any specific zodiac sign or somebody who would have a very good year?
Absolutely not. All of us are going to have a great year and all of us are going to have a horrible year too, because that's life. And I don't know why people have made a trend on these things, that this is the number of the year, this is the color of the year, one size doesn't fit all. it's content creation. And this brings us back to media stuff, you know. You have to constantly create content for your Insta page.
Yeah.
And you're an astrologer, so what do? You come up with something new. Today's thing, tomorrow's thing. Well, you can give general readings left, right and center. I have always said those are not horoscopes, those are horoscopes. Don't go for general reading. Get a specific reading done. Your life, you're unique, your thumbprint is unique, your iris is unique, your genetic structure is unique. There's nobody like you. You cannot have a copy-paste destiny, right?
Beautiful. I just love this interview entirely. I was just wanting to just sit back and listen to you. You've got so many things to offer here and to tell people that, you know, life is about to live. And here today I got to know that, you know, be prepared for happy and bad times as well. Just now being told to us that, you know, if you happen to go to somebody who's healing you, that doesn't mean they'll only be coming up with this thing that, okay, fine, you have a good life. You will also have bads. Be prepared for that. Life is to be lived fully and completely. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Simran.
Prasiddhi. Your name is such a Prasiddh name. I loved it and I love being with you here on the sets of Newsmakers.
Thank you, Simran. Thank you so much.
And thank you, my lovely audience. I'm sure you would have liked this interview as well. And if you have, please do let us know. And if you too have a story, what are you waiting for? Our numbers and our email is reflecting here. Let us know your story and be a part of the show. Till then, Simran signing off. But I promise I will be back soon. Stay happy.